Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and in today's video we are going to be going over the top 25 best hatchbacks of all time. This is a new little mini series that we're going to start where we're just going to go over the top 25 bests of whatever it may be, starting with hatchbacks because I'm not the biggest hatchback guy, as you guys know. So I was like, you know what, I want to talk about hatchbacks more. I want to learn more about hatchbacks, become a hatchback guy, get indicted into the hatchback guy hall of fame. So let me know what your guys' opinions are on what other things you'd like to see me do the top 25 bests of, because I want to do more of these, obviously. So yeah, let me know. Either way, song of the day is called Post Malone by Sam Feldt. Weird because it's a guy's name that already sings songs, so you have to type in Post Malone and then Sam Feldt in order to find it, because obviously Post Malone himself is an artist. But it's a banger. It's kind of a white girl song, I'm not gonna lie, but it gets me in the summertime mood, especially going to the lake, listening to the song. I get excited to go ride some jet skis or something. I actually have never been able to ride jet skis in my life, and it's killing me. So if anybody in Connecticut has jet skis and would let me ride them, let me know, by the way, because God, it drives me nuts. I want to ride jet skis so bad. Either way, without further ado, let's get right into it with number 25. And that is going to a car that we never got here in the United States. As a matter of fact, spoiler alert, but a lot of cars on this list are we never got here in the United States. There's only one or two American-made cars on this list. We're just not the best at making hot hatches. All right, let's just be honest with ourselves here, guys. America, hot hatches don't mix too well. Either way, it's the Toyota Starlet GT Turbo. I like these little things. I like the little, obviously you guys know I like Japanese cars, but I love how Japanese little hot hatches are even smaller than regular old hot hatches. It makes me so happy to see they're just tiny little track-oriented beasts. And coming in at 24th place is another car that we never got in the United States, which actually, this one actually pains me because I love them. Every time I see them, I'm always like, those are such cool looking cars. The Renault Main RS. I'm going to go with the Mark IV for today, which is the newest one, but honestly, any Renault Main RS deserves to be on this list. They're really freaking awesome cars. Every time that they're in a racing game, they're one of my favorite hot hatches in those games. And I'm not a big hot hatch guy, but I love the looks of these things. I don't know much about their performance. I don't know what they come with. Obviously they are good performing cars, or else they wouldn't make them anymore, but I don't know much about it. But all I know is what I can see, and I like what I see. Coming in at 23rd place, I don't really like what I see, but we did get these in the States, so there are a couple out there driving around. The Fiat 500 Abarth. Now this car I have recommended multiple times on my channel to people to buy if they like little hot hatch beasts, I guess you could say. That's what this is. It's a tiny, very low horsepower. Sounds insane, by the way. Don't know why, but yeah, this car sounds crazy. Almost everybody that ever heard of Fiat 500 Abarth is like, why does that sound like that? It sounds way too cool for what it is. And it's one of the smallest wheelbases on this list. It's one of the smallest cars on this list. It is an absolute go-kart. That is its sole purpose, is to just go fast around a very, very tight track. And coming in at 22nd place, I don't know if we got this one in the States. Sorry, I wish I did, but I'm pretty sure we did. I'm pretty sure that we definitely did. But it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Toyota Starlet, the Mazda 323 GTX. The 323 in general was never really the coolest car. Let's be real. Most of them weren't that awesome. But then the GTX came out, and this thing was a little rally monster. People were rally racing this thing all the time. As a matter of fact, for the background footage for the 323, you guys are going to see it racing around a track, because I couldn't find any clips of people just cinematic, car clips or whatever. But I could find this clip, which I thought was freaking baller, so I'm going to put it here. It is such a cool little lightweight hatchback, and I love that. This is what I like about the JDM ones. Speaking of JDM hot hatches, coming in at 21st place, barely missing out on the top 20, is a car that I have gone on record multiple times saying I think is overrated, and I stand on that. I do think it's overrated, but it is a good hatchback. You can't deny that. The Toyota Corolla AE86, or the Toyota Sprinter Trano, or Levin, and whatever they're calling it nowadays. I don't know. They always have some wild freaking maze of a name for this car. You have to crack Morse code in order to actually call this car by its real name. But it's the AE86. It's famous because of initial D, and it was a good car, but again, I do think it's overrated. That's why it's here at my number 21 spot. Most other people would probably put it in their top 5 best hatches of all time. I don't think it's all the way up there. I think it is a little overrated, but it is a cool car nonetheless. However, breaking its way into the wonderful top 20 is going to be going to the Volkswagen Shurocco R. Obviously, you guys know. Oh, by the way, this car we never got in the States. There are obviously a couple Shurocco Rs in the States, but it's not not very common in the slightest bits. But obviously, Volkswagen is probably the hot hatch company. They didn't really start it, but everybody kind of credits them with starting the hot hatch craze, and they really perfected it. And they obviously, you guys know about the Golfs, and spoiler spoiler alert, there will be a Golf once or twice on this list. But the Shurocco is also a car that I've always loved. I think the Shurocco looks 10 times better than the Golfs. I know that they're not actually better performing cars, that's why it's here at number 20, but they are gorgeous looking cars. Coming in number 19 spot. Number 19 spot. He's gonna be going to the Hyundai i30N. The Hyundai has been, I don't know who took over at Hyundai, but they're a demon. All right, these guys are making some absolute bangers left, right, and center. Now, unfortunately for me, most of the cars that they have been making haven't been the coolest. I'm not a big front-wheel drive guy fan, but they did make the Genesis Coupe. Gotta put respect where respect is due. The Genesis Coupe was pretty cool, but the freaking Hyundai i30N, this thing is so, like, I love how humble the i30N is, if that makes any sense. It reminds me a lot of the 90s hot hatches. Like, this car doesn't look like a race car. It just looks like a regular car that can go a little bit fast, has some nice trim on it, and I love that. Coming in at 18th place, however, is one of the only, like, American cars actually on this list. By the way, the Hyundai i30N, we obviously did get that car in the States. It's newer. Most of the newer cars we're getting in the States now. But 18th place is the Dodge Omni GLH. Don't know much about this car, actually. I'm as sad as it is to say, I really don't. I just know that people freaking love it. Every time I read up on any sort of, like, best hot hatches, the hot hatches that were revolutionized the hot hatch game, the Dodge Omni GLH is always there. So we're going to put it here. Now, unfortunately, like I said, I don't know too much about it. I do think it looks pretty cool. It's like a retro, nice little car. It's lightweight, which is surprising for a Dodge, considering all they make is land yachts. And I like it. That's all I can say. Coming in at 17th place, however, another one of the JDM lightweight 90s hatches, the Nissan Pulsar GTR R. You guys know how much I love the Pulsar. Don't think we got this car in the States, if I'm not mistaken. I do not believe we did, which is, of course. Every cool Nissan, besides like the Zs, were just not given to us in the States. Like, even the S chassis, everybody's gonna be like, oh, we got S13s, S14s, yeah, but we didn't get the Silvias. You know, we got KAs. We didn't get SRs. It's just like in every cool Nissan we never got. And the Nissan Pulsar is one of those. Pretty sure this car comes with an SR20, which is pretty freaking insane. It is front wheel drive, but that's, who cares? It's a racing monster, and it looks incredible. One of my favorite looking hatches of all time. Coming in at 16th place, finally, a cool, just like respectable hot hatch that we actually got in the United States of America, and that's kind of the reason why it's on here, actually. The Honda Civic Type R FK8. For those who don't know, this was the first ever Civic Type R that we actually got and were available to purchase in the United States. And now we see them quite often. I see some in my town, and my town is, as you guys know, very, very small in terms of the car world. I get excited if I see a Celica drive by. I'll get excited if I see some guy on a bicycle drive by. There's just no cars around here, and I see some Civic Type Rs sometimes, and I guarantee we would have seen more if they had brought the Type R line over earlier, but this is the first time they did it. And on top of that, the car is just really good. It's also the first ever turbocharged Type R, which is cool as well. Everything about the car had a lot of new firsts for the Honda Civic Type R line, and yeah, it had the rice from factory look, but I actually think it looks pretty good. I know it's a hot take. I think the fake vents look nice. Coming in at 15th place, you guys know how much I love these cars. I recommend them quite well, not this exact trim, but I recommend this body a lot. The Mini Cooper S JCW. The JCW is John Cooper Works. It's like pretty much the Mini Cooper S, which is already a good car, realistically speaking. If they didn't have the John Cooper Works variant, the Mini Cooper S would probably still be here on this list. But because of the John Cooper Works, it's obviously going to take this spot. John Cooper, I don't know who this guy is, but he just, whenever he touches it, he knows how to make a Mini Cooper fast. Okay, they're somehow faster than the Mini Cooper S's, which are already, again, very good hot hatches, and this guy decides to make them faster. It's like Jersey Mike's when he makes a sub. Coming in at 14th place, my good friends, is one of the only WRXs that I actually am like a big fan of. I like this one, and I like the Blob Eye. I don't know why I love the Blob Eye. Blob Eye is gorgeous. But either way, it's a Subaru WRX STI Stink Eye. Now, there are almost every generation of the WRX does have a hatchback variant of it, although it's kind of like a wagon more so than a hatchback. But either way, they do have a variant of it. But I feel like none of them really hit as hard. None of them really like perfected the hatchback variant like the Stink Eye did. The Stink Eye sedan is always forgotten about. Everybody just talks about the Stink Eye hatch now because it's just that much cooler. It is such a cool car, and it's obviously a WRX STI, very good cars overall, but this is, like, in my opinion, the perfect Subaru hatchback. Coming in at 13th place, however, is another new car. People might get mad at me because, spoiler alert, but the Mark 1 or Mark 2 are not on this list, but the Volkswagen Golf R Mark 7. I know people are going to look at things with rose-tinted glasses. Everybody loves the 90s. Everybody loves the 80s cars and thinks that they're just like the best. But I actually do think like a Mark 7 Golf R is just an overall, just in every way, better car than the Mark 1s and Mark 2s. Did those cars start the entire line? Obviously. Did they almost pretty much start the entire hot hatch phase? Yes, the Mark 1 Golf GTI did almost start the entire hot hatch phase. There was some before this car, but this is what really put them on the map. The Golf R Mark 7, though, is just incredible. I mean, all-wheel drive, more horsepower than any Volkswagen Golf ever seen before. This thing was insane, and it looks incredible. It looks aggressive while still maintaining a, like, relatively civilianistic look of a hatchback. And coming in at 12th place, a car that's getting a ridiculous amount of praise recently, but I do think they are a little overrated, but still incredible. The Hyundai Veloster N. I don't like the looks of Velosters. I'm just going to put it out there. Just going to be blatantly honest, man. I'm not the biggest fan of the looks of the Velosters. I just never have. They are definitely an acquired taste. You have to be a certain type of person to enjoy the looks of the Velosters. But I'm not judging this based off the looks. The Hyundai Veloster, if it wasn't for the Veloster N, I really don't think Hyundai would have the reputation that they have today, which is 10 times. I know the reputation that Hyundai has today isn't great or anything, but it's literally 1,000 times better than the reputation Hyundai had 10 years ago, and it's all thanks to this car. The Veloster N is literally putting Hyundai on the map for the sports car game, and you got to give respect where respect is due. A lot of people thought it was like the best front-wheel drive car of the time. It was for a minute, but then the Honda came out with a Civic Type R and just kind of ruined it. 11th place is just like how could you, if you're a car guy, how could you not love this car? The Mazda Speed 3. The Mazda Speed 3 is literally just like a love letter to car guys as a car. Mazda, I don't know what you guys have done recently in your, I don't know who decided to take over. It's like the guys that used to work at Hyundai went over and started working at Mazda and Mitsubishi, and the guys that worked at Mazda and Mitsubishi back in the day work at Hyundai now, because this was so cool. Mazda used to make actually such cool cars. Nowadays, all they have is a freaking ND Miata. I don't even know if they still make that anymore. But this thing was awesome. And the reason why I keep saying that it's like a car guy car is this thing is manual only, 2.3 liter turbocharged inline four, making over 250 horsepower in a manual only hatchback. Like, there's no way a regular person's buying one of these. Only car guys were buying them, and they knew that. However, breaking its way into the top 10, my rally fanboy side is starting to show, because it's the Peugeot 205 GTI. I mean, this is what I mean. Like, when people say like, oh, well, the Mark 1 Golf started the hot hatch phase, I'm always kind of like, well, they perfected it. You know, they definitely put it on the map. They made it a household name, don't get me wrong. But there were definitely cars before that that were awesome, because this is one of them. The 205 GTI. Peugeot, in general, I'm not a biggest fan of. I'm going to be 100% honest. But this car is just, like, so minimalistic and perfect in every single way that I don't see how you could hate it. Like, how is it possible? How is it possible to hate it? And if you like rally racing, you also love this car even more. Coming in at 9th place, however, is one of the only other American-made cars that we've got that are on this list. I think it's only 2 total, and this is the other one. No, there's one more. Okay, all right. There's three. Either way, 9th place is the Ford Focus RS Mark III. Realistically speaking, almost any Ford Focus can be here. The Focus SVT, the 1st gen, Focus RS 2nd gen, or the Focus RS Mark III 3rd gen, all could be here. And now they're even thinking about making a Mark IV Focus RS. That would be super awesome, because I actually do like the new Focuses and how they look. They look pretty nice, so it'd be pretty cool if they made a Mark IV. But either way, the Mark III, as of right now, is the best Focus we've ever gotten. It is just, I mean, dude, all-wheel drive, 300 horsepower, absolute monster. I've never been the biggest fans of the Focus RS, but of the Focus RS's looks, I should say, but the performance is obviously there. Coming in at 8th place is a car that I am a massive fan of the looks of, because I think it's absolutely gorgeous in every single regard. The Audi RS38V. The 8V is the not 1st gen, there's been other RS3s, but the one that everybody knows and loves. And then the 8Y is the newer one that people like kind of don't like. I like both of them. I think the 8Y is still gorgeous. I do think the 8V is better looking, and it did kind of start, you know, the RS3 craze, so I got to give respect where respect is due. But they're both really good cars. This car, though, is like it has like one of the most insanely modifiable engines of all time. Inline 5 turbocharged. It doesn't sound like anything crazy, but it handles power like a freak, like Lizzo handles cake, dude. This thing loves it. Coming in at 7th place, however, is honestly kind of probably where the Audi RS3 started, the Volkswagen Golf R32. Now, I'm not going to put a Mark IV or Mark V here, because they're both really good. The Mark IV obviously started the R32 line, but the Mark V definitely perfected it. They're both incredible cars, though, and if it wasn't for these cars, I don't think we would have seen cars like the Golf R that I was talking about earlier with the Mark 7. If it wasn't, this thing is insane. It's all-wheel, it's pretty much a Golf R before the Golf R was a thing. It's all-wheel drive, insane motor, good power, just better version of the GTIs, which you guys already know how much I love Mark IV, Mark V GTIs. And again, Volkswagen Golfs are just like the best hatches of all time. However, coming in at 6th place, my rally boy side is going to show yet again because I freaking love these cars. I don't see how it's even remotely possible to not love these cars. Also, it's like so hard to make a list like this, by the way, because as I'm reading out some of these, I'm starting to realize cars that I forgot. So I'm just going to mention it here, but it's not on the list. The Lancia Delta S4. Also really cool hatchback, and it's also another rally car. But yeah, let me know if you guys think I missed any in the comment section below. Some legendary hot hatches. But either way, the Renault Turbo 5 Maxi is coming in at number 6. It is... the fenders on this car are single-handedly probably one of the coolest fenders that we've ever seen on a car, period. Obviously, for those who don't know, this car was an absolute legend in the Group B rally racing scene. It also was just good at pretty much any racing. That's kind of the good part about Group B rally cars is, yeah, they were good at rally racing, but also if you just modified the suspension a little bit, put some sticky tires on there instead of off-road tires, they were also good at any other form of motorsports as well. And coming in at 5th place is a modern rally car. Well, that's what they're saying. That's what they're trying to sell it as, but nobody ever really uses it for that, which kind of drives me nuts. The Toyota GR Corolla. Toyota's Gazoo Racing, which, by the way, one of the stupidest names of all time for a racing team. All right, Toyota Racing Development was 10 times cooler than Gazoo Racing. That sounds like some kid's freaking iPad game. Sounds weird. Either way, the Gazoo Racing is absolutely knocking it out of the park as of recently, ever since they started, really. Every GR car has been absolutely awesome, and the GR Corolla is one that broke the freaking internet for car guys. People were going crazy for this thing, and it is absolutely awesome. Now, I've never been the biggest fan of the GR Corolla's looks, especially not the GR Yaris. The GR Yaris I really don't like the looks of, but performance-wise, it is a beast. I forgot to mention this, but yeah, the reason why the people love the GR Corolla so much is because it's going back to its roots. It's almost like a 90s car, but just with modern features in it. Either way, coming in at 4th place is a car that I fell in love with the second I saw it for the very first time, a Need for Speed shift when I was like an 11-year-old. The Ford Escort RS Cosworth. Yeah, I don't know much about it, but I love it. That's pretty much as far as I can say. This is the other American car on this list. For those who don't know, obviously it's Ford, but I just love how it looks, dude. I'm gonna be honest. That's like literally the only reason why it's here. I don't know anything about this car, but I fell in love with it. Again, ever since I was a kid, I've always loved how these cars are. Another car that's just like that, actually, a car that I fell in love with when I was a child, but not from Need for Speed Shift. It was from another Need for Speed, but Need for Speed Most Wanted. 3rd place is going to the Renault Clio V6. Dude, put some freaking respect on the Clio V6's name. I know that people do like these cars, but I feel like they're not talked about nearly enough. Like, dude, these things are insane. I love them. I love everything about them. And now I don't understand that they actually weren't technically the best for performance out there. They were a little bit too low to the ground, and everybody was kind of confused because it was like supposed to be a rally car, but it kind of wasn't good at that because it was too low to the ground. And it was kind of like a weird, almost like a failed experiment. But I don't care. The car's freaking mid-engine with a V6, all-wheel drive, sexy as hell too. By the way, oh my god, this car looks gorgeous, and just an absolute beast around tracks. Like it's such a cool car. Easily one of my favorite hot hatches ever made. However, coming in at 2nd place, yeah, I'm a JDM fan. What are you gonna do about it? Yeah, I like JDM cars. What you gonna do? You're gonna call the police? You're gonna call them. They won't mind. Coming in at 2nd place is the Honda Civic Type R EK9. Yeah, I like it. This is the first ever Civic Type R that we ever got. I don't believe it was the first ever Type R we ever got. It might have been, but I don't believe so. I think Integra was the first one to put a Type R badge on one of their cars. But either way, it was the first ever Civic Type R, and they came out freaking swinging. All right, if it wasn't for the Integra, this would have been the fastest front wheel drive car of the time. The Integra unfortunately did steal that title, but most people know at this point how incredible the Civic Type R EK9 actually is, and so they don't really care. Honda just knows how to make front wheel drive cars, dude. Volkswagen's the only one that comes kind of close, and now honestly nowadays Hyundai's honestly kind of coming close. But besides those two brands, Honda just has no competition when it comes to front wheel drive cars, just none. However, y'all know me. Y'all know me. Call me a basic boy, call me a hype beast, call me whatever you want to call me. First place, my favorite hot hatch of all time, is going to the Lancia Delta HF Integrale Evo. Super tongue twister of a name, don't get me wrong, but Lancia in general, man, oh my god. Was there ever a Lancia back in their heyday? Obviously nowadays I don't know if they're still making cars. If they are, they're probably trash, but back in their heyday, back in the 90s, back in the 80s when they were making Group B rally cars, was there a single Lancia sports car or race car that was bad? I don't think so. Yeah, the Lancia Fulvia, which was awesome. The 037, that was awesome. The Delta S4, that was awesome. And obviously the Delta HF Integrale. This is one of the most popular hot hatches of all time, if not the most popular hot hatch of all time. So I know it sounds a little bit basic for me to put it here as my first place spot. I don't care. I love it. I love every single freaking thing. Every single fiber of this car is awesome to me. The only ones that even come close to being as cool as this car for its time period are other Lancias. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video of the top 25 best hot hatches in my personal opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos I'd see in the comment section down below. Check the links in the description for any of my other social medias or any of my other YouTube channels or any of that great mumbo jumbo. And I just remembered another Lancia that's freaking awesome, the Stratos. I don't know how I forgot about that, but yeah, that's a beautiful car as well. Every Lancia was so cool. Every one of them. It scratches all the itches. Rally racing is so freaking awesome. I know I keep just glazing the Lancia Delta at this point. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to put it out there, man. That it is awesome. Okay, Lancia just knew what they were doing. Drives me nuts that people don't put respect on Lancia's name anymore. Nowadays, yeah, sure, they probably make some butthole cars, but like back in the day, dude, they were making some wiener cars. These cars were awesome. That sounds, well, okay, maybe I shouldn't. Back in the day, they were making some booby cars because these cars were awesome. Take back the last thing I just said. Pause. Either way, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I think we're going to start doing some more good, bad, and uglies more like frequently because I kind of like them. And you guys kind of seem to like them as well, obviously, if it's the car that you were looking at. But sometimes it gets like no views because nobody's looking for that car. I understand. As a matter of fact, the next one will probably get like no views because it's on the FB RX7. I don't think a lot of people are looking for the FB RX7, but I wanted to talk about it. So I was like, let's make a good, bad, and ugly on it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.